Hello everyone, Prince1215 here with an update for Transformers Knights of Cybertron, something I know that a lot of you have been looking forward to for a long time. So in this update video, I'm going to very quickly talk about production line updates that will hopefully fix the issues I've had when it comes to working on this show and hopefully get episodes out to you faster and sooner, and then also at the same time detailing when the new episodes are going to be due out. So for starters, I do want to address the production pipeline issues. If you've watched some of my main channel updates, I've gone into this there in the past, but I've never really made a video solely for Knights of Cybertron and detailing the production pipeline issues and updates and stuff. So it's been 2 years since the last episode came out, episode 5, and in other updates I have said that the reason there's been so long of a gap in between episodes is that I was waiting on voice lines from some of the voice actors. That was the kind of excuse I used at the time. It's like, well, there's not really much you can do about that. But it's been so long now that it really all boils down to it's my fault, because it's not that the voice actors are unable to get me their things. It's just that I have not stayed on top of making sure that they are working on things and getting them into me. Because when I have finally been back in contact with them and everything, it's like, hey, sorry, but it's like, can you get me that stuff? It's like, oh, sure, no problem, and it's come in a pretty timely manner. So it really all boils down to me and a lack of initiative on my part of wanting to work on the show. So my fault. Really, 2-year gap. That's all on me. And there's a couple of reasons. Like I said, a little bit of a lack of initiative on my part. There's a couple of reasons for that. One of them being is that the first 5 episodes of the show, I'm not gonna say didn't turn out the way I wanted them to, but the after the first 2, which are the kind of the hour-long premiere and everything, episodes 3, 4, and 5, they're very much were building to something, and they're more smaller scale. When writing those, I felt like there was some handcuffs on me that I couldn't quite do everything I wanted to yet, because we're still building up the world and the characters and such. So it's like, okay, I have to do these things before I can get to the things I actually want to do. Otherwise, it's like the characters aren't going to be well set up and all that. So I felt that way during writing and actually filming the episodes. I thought it was like, oh yeah, this is it all kind of blurred together because I got the entire first 10 episodes filmed so very quickly, and then when it actually came to editing them, it just really felt like the story wasn't going anywhere quite yet. But like I said, all that stuff is necessary because we're building up to something, and the payoff is in episodes 6 through 10, and I think you all are going to see that. So, but that's the thing, is like I wanted to get to the quote unquote fun stuff, and so after I got episode 5 done, and I was still waiting on. I think I was still even waiting on some lines for episode 6 at that point, which is why episode 6 ended up being so delayed, and that kind of delayed the whole rest of them. I just really kind of, I was like, but I lost the fun and the joy of working on the show that I had in the earlier days of working on it, because it's like, oh, I've written 10 episodes, I've written 15 episodes, I've written 20 episodes, and there's all this, and I know where the story is going well in advance and stuff. But, when you're working on the edits and everything and the episodes are trickling out, like once a month or what it was, I've lost a lot of that fun of working on it, because it wasn't the big bombastic stuff that I knew was coming. So that's definitely a me thing. It's definitely a me problem thing. And so since I was having to wait on voice actors to get me their stuff anyway, I started distracting myself with some other projects. And then, one side project turned into another side project, turned into another side project, and Knights of Cybertron just continued to fall by the wayside. I made an entirely separate Transformers miniseries, the War for Cybertron miniseries, in the time that I still have yet to release another Knights of Cybertron episode. There's been 3 shorts that I put out, 2 studio series shorts, and I guess you can count the DS animated cutscenes as another studio shorts. I kind of do, because it doesn't really fit anywhere else. And it's like, while I really like the idea of studio shorts, and I do have plans to do more of them, it's one of those things, it's like, I can't focus on this right now. I finally had this moment of epiphany, this moment of realization where it's like, I need to get back to the main thing. No more side projects. most of my focus now needs to go into Knights of Cybertron again. So this is where the production pipeline changes are coming in. That hopefully will make sure things get to you all sooner. And so there's no more 2-year waits in between episodes. There might still be some waits in between episodes, but hopefully not 2 years long. So what I've decided to do is that now that we've had this big gap of time, is looking at the first 5 episodes that were released, because my original intention was that instead of calling them seasons, the groups of 10 episodes were going to be chapters. So episodes 1 through 10 would be chapter 1. Episodes 20 or 21, no, 11. I'm bad at math. Episodes 11 through 20 would be chapter 2, and so on and so forth. That was the original plan. And if you look at episodes 1 and 10, when they're all going to be out, you can see kind of one larger story told over 10 episodes. And that's still going to be the case, obviously. But in terms of releasing them, my original plan was to do 10 episodes in 10 weeks. That was like the original plan. Clearly that didn't happen. And so now that there's been this big gap of time and I've kind of taken time to reassess things, I have come to this decision, is that now instead of releasing 10 episode seasons or 10 episode chapters as I originally was going for, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to release 5 episode chapters. So instead of there being 3 or 4 chapters of this story, there's now going to be like 5 or 6. Because of course there's going to be chapter 1, which is the first 5 episodes, chapter 2, which is going to be the next 5, and then I already have all written through the end of what was originally going to be season 2. So that would be episodes 11 through 20. So, so that means that this next set of 5 are gonna come out, and then instead of making another batch of 10, like was kind of the original idea in terms of like filming and editing and getting the voice actors to get their stuff in. It's like, which was kind of the original intention, is that all 10 are kind of worked on at the same time. I'm going to now limit that to be working on 5 at a time and producing those before I move on to the next 5. And that's really going to cut down on the amount of, it's literally going to cut production time going forward down in half, because it's like, well, I'm working on 5 episodes instead of 10. And not all of these episodes are going to be giant bombastic episodes, like I said, because that's kind of where I ran into trouble in terms of initiative the first time. But now I've really revigored myself, and it's like, okay, working on 5 episodes at a time, that's going to be a little bit easier, because now working on 5 episodes at a time, I feel like I'm going to be able to put as much of the work as I'd put into 10 over the entire thing, but now just into 5. So hopefully the quality of each episode will go up. The writing's not going to change. The scripts aren't going to change. Those have been locked for a long time. But in terms of like the animation and stuff, and that, because that was also something that I was really kind of going on, and was kind of draining my want to do, is that the animation in like episodes 3, 4, and 5 wasn't exactly up to where I thought it was. And the same is actually true for 6 through 10. And I went back and forth with myself about doing this or not, but I actually did reanimate a couple things here and there, and a couple scenes here and there, and throw in some extra additive little things, in a couple places where so that way the overall animation looks a little better, a little more active, a little more fluid. And I think that's really going to help with the presentation. And so making 5 episodes at a time now instead of 10, I think is really going to help with that overall for the entire series going forward. Is that now there's going to be that dedication and that amount of work put into 10 episodes, but now just at 5. And so, and on top of that, decreasing my overall workload and being able to put more quality into those, it's also going to lessen the workload for the voice actors, of course, because when I start going to them again and going, hey, let's start getting some voice lines in, they're only going to have to be working on and sending me stuff for 5 episodes at a time instead of 10. And And another reason I came to this conclusion is that, because like I said, it's like the original plan was to do 10 episodes in 10 weeks. That is just not feasible from like a one-person production standpoint. Because, yeah, I've got the voice actors, but I'm writing, I'm shooting, I am directing, I am editing, and it's like I am the one person working on all of this. And that is a lot for one person to handle. And these episodes are big. It's like, this isn't, 2 or 3 minute long animations. I mean, like for instance, episode 6 through 10, each of these episodes are 20 minutes plus each. These are long episodes. I mean, these are TV length plus, these are 22 minutes, with a 30-minute block on a network television network, where they're 22 minutes with, and then they add in commercials to make it a 30-minute block. I mean, that's how long these episodes are. And even then, a couple of them are actually going to end up being longer than that. And so it's like, I mean, yeah, these are long episodes with lots of stuff in them. So releasing things week to week for the amount of work I'm putting into it is not really going to be worth it. So this is where I'm going to introduce the new release format. Is that, and I say quote unquote new release format because this is kind of what ended up happening with episodes 1 through 5, chapter 1, is that I released the first 2, and then there was like 2 or 3 months, and then I released 3, and then the next month 4, then the next month 5, and it's been 2 years since then. So instead of doing week to week, my original plan was, I am now going to release them month to month. So starting in June, the last Monday in every month will be a new episode of Transformers: Knights of Cybertron until I run out of the 5. So that means episode 6 is launching on June the 26th. Episode 7 is launching on July 31st. Episode 8 is launching on August 28th. Episode 9 is on September the 25th. And episode 10 is on October the 30th. So those are when you can expect the new episodes of Knights of Cybertron to be out. But you might be wondering, it's like, well, you just mentioned that you've got all these others written. Why are we just getting 5 right now? Is that so? So yeah, you're going to get 5 at a time. Those are kind of going to be your quote unquote seasons. And that's going to last you a long time. It's going to be like 20, 30 actual minute episodes once a month for 5 months in a block. That's honestly a lot of content. When you sit down to watch like the first 10, what I originally envisioned as season 1 of the show, when you sit down and you can watch all those back to back to back to back and binge through it and stuff, I mean, that's going to be 3 or 4 hours of content. That's a lot of animation. Trust me. So I think the wait in between episodes, it being a month, I think it will be worth it. And also spacing out the releases like this, being month to month instead of week to week, that will be able to allow me to jumpstart on the next set of 5, and that will hopefully, and then that will hopefully decrease the amount of time in between the wait for the episodes. So I've already started working forward from here. So episode 10 still needs to be edited. I'm actually still waiting on voice lines for episode 10, which I know we've run into problems here before with that, but I know for a fact this time that I will get them on time. I will get them in a timely manner to where I will be able to finish episode 10 before October, and it will be ready to go by October 30th. So with that in mind, I have actually already started writing the whole rest of the show. So I have already written, I think, 2 of the remaining episodes, and I'm not going to tell you how many remaining episodes there are, but I'm already in the writing process, so that way, hopefully very, very soon, the entire series will be written, the entire series will be locked in, and so with that in mind, then I can start casting for because there's a bunch of new characters come episode 11. I'll be able to start casting for the new characters, I will be able to start filming, and then by the time episode 10 comes out, I am hopefully, maybe not able to start editing episode 11, but, with all the scripts locked and new cast members and stuff, be well on the way to working on the next 5. Then episodes 11 through 15 will come out, and then while those are coming out, and when I decide it's time to put those out, it'll be 11 one month, 12 the next, 13 the next, and so on and so forth. And in that 5-month period, I'll be able to start working on episodes 16 through 20 and animating those, and getting the voice lines in for those and getting those edited together and everything. And so probably another, like 3, 4, 5 month gap between episodes, and then the cycle will repeat until the whole series is done. Because it's like, and this isn't one of those. It's like, oh, I got 8 years of story planned here. It's like, no, there is a finite amount of story I want to tell here. I have a beginning, I have a middle, I have an end, and I think that's very important when you go in to start telling a story. It's like you kind of need to. It's like things can change along the way, and certainly when I've been going through and planning this out, things have definitely changed for a number of reasons. But, having an idea of where you're going is very important when you're telling a story. So I've had that locked, or not locked, but I've had that in my mind, an idea in my mind for a long, long time now. So I have a beginning, I have a middle, I have an end, all planned out. I'm writing all that right now. So hopefully that means that there will be a more set schedule for this show going forward, because honestly, the response to the first 5 episodes has really surprised me. When those episodes were coming out, it seemed like a lot of you were liking them. I've gotten questions on other videos of, hey, when are you going to get back to the show, which is, fair. It's like to ask that question and everything. And I've never really, and like I said, I kind of lost initiative to stop working on it actively, but I've still been working on it like passively. Whether that's, thinking about story beats in my head or collecting new toys to use, or it's like thinking, it's like, well, how could this work? Or like thinking of new filming techniques, and like teaching myself new visual effects with other projects I've worked on that can help me with Transformers and everything. And then like, going back and it's like, oh, well, hold on, let's not shoot it like this, let's shoot it like that instead, because that'll help key out better and blah, 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 and all this different stuff. So I've kind of been, everything I have done, well, not everything I've done, but a lot of the stuff I've done in terms of my other stop motion projects have taught me things that I can use to better make the next set of episodes, and the next set of episodes, and the next set of episodes better and better and better. So yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for this update video. That's really all I had for you. Just a little brief explanation of what's going on, where the series is at. It's like why it's been so long. Again, I apologize for that, but hopefully this is a worthy enough explanation. I do want to thank all of you for hanging in there with me, and I know especially my voice actors are ready to see more of the show, and I'm excited to start releasing it again. So like I said, hopefully things will be getting more on a set schedule here soon, and until then, I hope you enjoy these episodes as they come out. So thank you for watching, thank you for hanging in there, and I'll see you guys in June for episode 6. So thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.